I want you to stop chasing contracts at the last minute on SAM.gov. What I want you to do instead is start building a pipeline months in advance with strategic government contracting forecasts. What I'm going to show you by the end of this video, I'm going to have you discover opportunities months, and I mean months before the solicitations are even released on SAM.gov, so we can gain competitive edge over everyone else and always be prepared before pre-solicitation even sees SAM.gov. Yes, you heard me correctly, months before it becomes available on SAM.gov. Now, to start off, you've probably have seen contracts like this one. So this one is an active contract. As you can see, they want printer systems. And it's super frustrating because as you can see here, the published date was today at 12:53 p.m. So maybe 3 hours before the time I recorded this video. And it's due tomorrow at 2 p.m. So you can't prepare a request for quote this quickly. And in most cases, you're left puzzled. How the hell did anyone else manage to submit this quick, to find it and submit a quote for it? Well, that's what I'm going to try and show you today. The key is actually government contracting forecasts. So every agency, every federal agency, they are legally required to forecast their planned purchases, and they have to reveal what, when, and how much the government plans to buy at least 6 to 12 months before the contracts are released. What I mean by that, let's say an agency wants to buy pens next year, they have to forecast that, so they have to release somewhere that they are planning to buy pens for how much and when. That's just a legal requirement, and this is something that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about, but any established business and any people that do government contracting, for them, this is common sense. But if it's not, then you should capitalize on this, and I'm going to show you exactly how. So what is the advantage of actually doing this, of capturing government forecasts before they land on SAM.gov? One is you build relationships with the agency, and I've talked about this a lot. Government contracting equals relationships. If you have good relationship with the buyer, your chances of winning a government contract are astronomically higher than someone who doesn't have a relationship. When you connect with a decision maker in the government, before the competition heats up, this engagement will build trust and credibility with that agency before everyone else is capable of doing that. Because you are ahead in the sales cycle or sales pipeline, ahead of everyone else. Two, and this is a very important one, is you could actually shape requirements. If you provide your input during the pre-solicitation phase to help develop the requirements that favor your strengths and capabilities, you are primed to win the solicitation because you helped develop it. And finally, you have strategic intelligence. You gain deep insights into what actually the agency needs. The budget constraints, so how much they plan to spend on it, and the evaluation criteria before your competitors even know about the opportunity. Key word is before the competitors even hear about the opportunity. So you are steps ahead, because a lot of businesses, even the ones that think they are early, they hop on the pre-solicitation or request for information. This is even a step before that. So you are strategically positioning yourself to be an early bird and ahead of everyone else. So what are the 4 steps forecast strategy that we are going to implement, and your business is going to implement this so you increase your chances of winning a government contract? 1, we want to identify the target agencies. So which agencies buy what we sell so we can focus on them. 2, we want to see who are the key stakeholders in that agency, that are program managers, contracting officers, people who are awarding contracts to businesses like my business. 3, we want to track changes. We want to see over time what's being updated, what's being spent money on, how often changes are being made. And finally, we want to execute an engagement plan. So once we know what agency, the stakeholder, and the contract that's forecasted, we want to plan meetings with them. We want to strategize. We want to develop strategic partnerships based on the forecast timeline. So when it drops on SAM.gov, we are steps ahead of everyone else and ready to submit, and we are not surprised when something like this drops and we have less than 24 hours to respond to it. The problem and the challenge, and probably your next question is, okay, nice, where do I find these forecasts? The problem with this is it's a lot of work, and that's why it's challenging. I'm going to give you later a solution for this, but it's scattered information is the key difficulty with this. There are a lot of sources because every agency, they release their own forecast in a different format, in a different place. So you probably have to track 20 plus agency websites and see the forecast and search through them. And they're not the easiest. So you have to do a lot of manual work, and it's easier to miss these opportunities. But I'm going to still show you how. So for example, let's say you want to work with the Department of State. They have a procurement website. So if you go to state.gov/procurement forecast, you'll be able to see here their forecast for the year 2025. And usually this also sometimes involves the year 2026, but at least they have to have their forecast for the future for this year. Now, if you click on this and download it, I have it here saved. It looks something like this, which is super difficult to actually read through and find something that's relevant to our business. But that's one way of doing this. I'm going to give you another example. This one, for example, is the Department of Justice. So if you go justice.gov and then you find forecast, contract, and opportunity dashboard, they have a dashboard like this. I know it's a bit small. Let me actually zoom in. But it's kind of the same format. You have a table, you have the contracting officer, their name. Sometimes you don't have their email, like in this case. You have the NAICS code, and you have the date of when they want to release this. And finally, we have the Commerce. So this is the Department of Commerce, and they have also here an Excel sheet, and it looks something like this. Different formats, and it's a bit difficult and tedious to actually go through these and get a lot of info. But that's the price you have to pay to get ahead of everyone else, or you gain a competitive edge by actually using a smart capture solution like SAM Search. So why this is much easier on SAM Search? Because you have a centralized forecast for all agencies, and we're talking thousands of forecasts across all federal agencies. Not even one is missing. You have the ability to search and smart filter, which I'm going to show you how. And finally, and most importantly, you can actually get alerts. So you don't have to be searching. You could just set up alerts and you'll receive these forecasts in your email when they land. So you are always ahead of everyone else and you're getting alerted. So let me show you what that means. So in action, we want to navigate the forecast in one click from the main dashboard. We want to apply our filters. So filter on what exactly we want to see forecast for. We want to configure alerts, and we want to track multiple agencies all with ease. Let's say we are here. This is SAM Search, by the way. We have all of these searches. All we have to do to find forecast is click here. And now we are searching for cybersecurity government forecast across all agencies. Now, as you can see, we have all of these agencies and they are organized in an easy way for us to understand. So let's break this one down, for example. This one is, there's an AI summary, as you can see. It's a contract to assist with operations and enhancement of a cybersecurity compensation system. You could see the NAICS code, so you could filter on that as well. You could see the department, so which specific agency, whether they're requesting a product or a service. The competition, this is like a follow-on or recompete, which means is there was a contract in the past that expiring, and now they want to open up the competition again. You could see that this one is for Q3 of 2026. So we have a year ahead of the competition. And most importantly, we have the estimated value. We have $10 million to $20 million. Now, there are a lot of these opportunities, so you can go through them one by one. But let's say we want to plan ahead for Q4 of 2025. What we can do is we could just filter by Q4 here, and we can set the year to 2025. And as you can see now, we're finding contracts or forecasted contracts for Q4 of 2025 that are cybersecurity. So this one, for example, is technical support services for cybersecurity training. The estimated value is 5 million to 10 million, and it's a recompete. Now, if we click on this, let's say this one is interested, we can get all the details. The smart summary we just read, the description. So this one here is the description. When's the performance period? So we could see that this one is starting from 29 September 2025 until 28th of 2026, 28th of September of 2026. We have here the AI insights, that it's a service contract and all of the keywords. We could see here the NAICS code. We could see here the agency, the contract value, as I've mentioned, the requirement type, and the competition, and obviously the contact information, because this is key. This is the person that we want to contact to be able to discuss this forecasted opportunity. Now, what we have to do here is just click on email contact, and we will have, I can't click on this because it will open, actually I can click on this, but it will open up my email app, so you wouldn't be able to see it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually copy the email content here. and I'm going to paste it in an empty document for now. But you can see here, we get the email, we get the subject line ready, we get the email with the details of the forecast. You could obviously modify this to your liking, but you have all of the information here. You could say, I'm inquiring about this forecasted opportunity. You can get into more details. You could give the agent the forecast ID, the agency, the NAICS code, and ask more about it and set up a meeting with them. And you can just do this for multiple different search queries. Now, let's say you want to be alerted about these forecasts. You don't want to be searching every single day. What we're going to do is we're going to save this search. So as you can see here, there's this button that calls Save Search. It will save my search with my filters. So not right now, I'm searching for cybersecurity Q4. Let me actually set the year as well. And now I'm going to save the search. I'm going to name it Cybersecurity Opportunity Forecasts. And I want to be notified about any new forecasted opportunities. And let's say I want to be notified monthly. I don't want to be notified about forecasts daily, and save search. And now I'll get emails in my inbox for these criteria on a monthly basis. That's simple. Now, why should you go about doing this using this method? So you're going to be saving 85% more time if you do this using SAM search instead of manual search or agency website search. So it's a lot of time that you are saving, and also you're accessing forecasts that might be hard for you to find if you're doing it manually. So if you're ready to transform your pipeline, make sure to check SAM search. It will make your life a lot easier. It'll give you access to forecasts that not a lot of people out there know about, or not a lot of people implement, maybe because of the difficulty of it, but it will definitely enhance your government contracting pipeline and get you ahead of the competition. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.